Hello everyone, and welcome back to more discussions about the cardboard crack we all know and love. Glad you could join me today. Now, this video may seem a little more rushed, mostly because it's very time sensitive. On the cusp of MagicCon Vegas, which I'm going to by the way, if you'd like to meet up and jam some games, Wizards announced yet another new Secret Lair to the surprise of absolutely no one, except maybe the guy who's been living under a rock for the past year and a half. Since I believe the Magic 30 event, our favorite American producer of Magic the Gathering has released relatively expensive festivals in a box sets to simulate or approximate your experience at MagicCon from the comfort of your home without having to fly out to the actual event. So today, we're going to do what the professor probably can't do due to time constraints. We're going to see if it's worth it to buy this when it drops tomorrow at 9 a.m. PST. For the low price of 250 American US dollars, you can get yourself a box of mystery boosters, the 2021 Convention Edition, a new 3-card Secret Lair with art by very popular artist Dan Frazier, a Relentless Rats promo that they will give out at Vegas if you spend over 150 USD, and a hodgepodge of packs they're calling a Chaos Draft. The exact contents of this draft include 1 each of Dominaria Remastered, United, Brothers War, and All Will Be One, 2 New Capenna, Midnight Hunt, and Crimson Vow, 3 Wilds of Eldraine and Modern Horizons 2, and finally 4 each of Neon Dynasty and March of the Machine. In terms of what's in the Dan Frazier Mox box drop, we get ourselves all new art from the Mox Talisman and Signet Man himself, and that delicious old style artifact border with the same foil etched treatment from Similar's Dan Frazier Lairs, which means we're getting foil etched old border variants of Sol Ring, Mox Tantalite, and Mox Opal. Let's start with the raw money value to see if we're getting ripped off. The Rats promo doesn't have any TCG player listings yet, probably because it's not going to be released till Vegas in about a week and a half, but we do have some precedence with the last Rats promo. Art is obviously dealer's choice, but the previous Rats promo is currently going for about $10 non-foil, $43 in foil, and we're getting a non-foil Rat, so let's throw $10 on the list. The price for mystery booster boxes has been trending downwards, but that's still a $185 price tag even from the cheapest sellers on TCG Player. Keep in mind this is the reprint edition they started sending out to premium stores in 2021, and annoyingly, something they still neglect to mention on their site. The other source of big money here is the Dan Frazier Secret Lair, not in Tantalite or Sol Ring, of course. What is nice to note is that this is Tantalite's first reprint since Modern Horizons 1, and if the previous Frazier Lairs hold true, this should maintain some value. The original is still around $5, so it's more like a drop in the bucket, all things considered. Sol Ring is a bit of an odd duck. Not that it's odd, but because it's so friggin' pervasive and has an outrageous amount of variants already. Warhammer, Lord of the Rings, Old Border, New Border, No Border. You are spoiled for choice. Hell, we already have an Old Border Sol Ring with new art like the one on the WPN promo. But it's still a Sol Ring, all things considered. So unless you're in the minority of Commander players, this will find a home somewhere. I'm not going to bother adding its value here just because it's so accessible and it's at most $1 or $2. But the big money is the surprise Mox Opal, last printed in double masters but maintaining a $75 price tag even for the cheapest listing. This is probably one of the most expensive reprints Secret Lair has done so far, outside of including Chrome Mox in the 30th anniversary Secret Lair. Thankfully, both of these Moxes are actually pretty similar, both being older border and new art by Frazier, and in what will likely be limited time drop products. If the pattern with Chrome Mox holds true, we should expect the Opal to hold its value very closely to previous non-full art prints, so you shouldn't worry about the Opal investments dropping off a cliff anytime soon. And finally, the most obvious odd duck in the room, the Chaos Draft box, which I feel like was a devious little way to answer the question of, we have all these boxes, but not enough to include if our driving force for buying this is Mox Opal. What are we gonna do? But the more obvious answer is probably needing to liquidate product to make room in the warehouse for Doctor Who. I'm not really sure how to judge this per se, since it's not like you're guaranteed any chase mythics from the respective sets. So just in terms of how much it would cost you to buy the individual packs for the Chaos Draft, going off of TCG market totals, this Chaos Draft box would run you $98.75. Though the bigger caveat is a Chaos Draft usually has the cost of entrance split across all of its participants, bringing their own variety of packs, rather than sticking it all to the host. Additionally, Mystery Booster was sort of developed as a way to Chaos Draft, so it seems a little strange they're putting in 2 ways to Chaos Draft in one product. As I mentioned before, the pack choice seems a little weird as well, with the oldest set in the bunch being maybe Neon Dynasty? If they're charging $250, maybe we could have gotten away with some comparatively older sets like Theros Block or even Ravnica 2018. Beyond that, this feels like an awkward departure, especially after Minneapolis gave you 3 booster boxes for only $20 more. That at least you could count on for Mythic pulls. Regardless of my thoughts on that, the total product value, if you're going to buy it off at market price, comes out to $373.75. So we're getting a good amount of savings by purchasing everything like this. However, that's not the complete story, at least when it comes to the Chaos Draft quote-unquote set. If we slide on over to MTG stocks and their data on the expected value of everything, the numbers shape up to be more like this, not including the value of commons in the EV. So with this in mind, the actual value of this Chaos Hodgepodge is really more like $55 worth of booster packs, maybe a little extra since the EV calculations don't include bonus sheets. So for simplicity's sake, let's say this now makes their total value $340. As for the EV of mystery boosters, I've been getting conflicted sources between MTG stocks not tracking it and MTG Goldfish showing it at just under $207. I know I've been throwing out a bunch of numbers over this entire video so far, but I think I can sum it up with this. Given that the main showcase of the box is the Fraser Lair with Mox Opal and the mystery booster box, and the trend that the Fraser Lairs tend to hold or increase in value over time, I think there's a good argument to pick this up. However, the $250 price point is nothing to sneeze at. Honestly, if Opal wasn't in this, I would definitely be saying you could avoid this release. However, because I suspect Opal will either stay at its current price or shoot up post-release, it's one of those things where you need to get in at the bottom floor if you really want it. Begrudgingly, I'm considering picking it up really for the Opal and the mystery booster box. I think those are the only solid parts of this offering, and frankly, I think they probably could have gotten away with just charging $200 for the mystery booster box with the Fraser drop. Probably would have seen just as many sales. As for the hodgepodge of packs that they're calling a Chaos Draft, I'm not a fan. It really just seems like a way to get old product out of the basement to make way for all the new stuff that will inevitably be coming out in the next year or two. The fact that the most they could do is throw in some Mono Horizons 2 almost seems out of spirit with how the ideal Chaos Draft goes. And as I said before, they're already including an arguably better Chaos Draft experience with this product in the form of Mystery Booster. I'll end this off here with my final opinion of buy it if you really want Opal and some other goodies thrown in. I guess if we're copying Tolarian Community College already, let's grade it a C+. Most of everything else is really up to you if it sounds good. On the bright side price-wise, you're saving at least $100 by going this route versus buying everything separately. Opal is a great include, but at this point it feels like the Festival in a Box line of offerings are really running out of ideas to grab people. And I think with that, that's where I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you again for watching, like, subscribe, share this video around in the twilight hours before the sale starts, and I'll see you next time.